yesterday I got the call that we didn't have an interaction, which we've had before and reported on, but we have what seems to be now an assimilation. Good morning everyone, welcome back to an incredibly exciting day here on Shamwari Private Game Reserve, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday I got the call that after just over 2 years we've had a story that we've been following, and if you go back to some of our earlier episodes you would know that we introduced a very good looking male lion who was called the nomadic male lion. And he was introduced for the purpose of genetic material to introduce a new bloodline into the reserve, part of our conservation work with other responsible conservation networks. And it's been a long journey of the nomadic male being nomadic, in other words, non-territorial and rather solitary. And yesterday I got the call that we didn't have an interaction, which we've had before and reported on, but we have what seems to be now an assimilation. I just grabbed the camera and went, and Andrew, who's over there, normally holding the camera, wasn't even around to join up. So I grabbed the camera, and I'm going to get rated on my footage, I suppose, soon. But got out there and got some amazing footage of this nomadic male as he's now joined up with the Southern Pride. It wasn't a once-off thing, because it was yesterday and now again this morning. As we go through this bushes, we followed them from out in the open now into this area where they're just lying up for the rest of the day and doing what lions do best, and that's sleeping. But what's important is they're sleeping as a group, as a pride together, and that we've waited 2.5 years to see, so it's super exciting. So a little bit over a week ago, what you would know as the territorial males in the Southern Pride, the dominant male and his younger son, they disappeared up north, further north into the game reserve. And it seems like there's another coalition that started forming up there that's now starting to, I would say, almost be a little bit more of a threat to them than what this nomadic male would have been. And they disappeared up north, whether that was to go and ensure that those lions know that there's a coalition or a dominant factor in the southern sector of the game reserve, I'm not too sure, but nonetheless they have moved off, and as lions do, being hugely opportunistic, our nomadic male decided to introduce himself properly to the now unguarded females. And that's what we saw yesterday, was a little bit of this agonistic behavior. He was being super shy and submissive, and every time he'd walk to the females, he would be looking away and he'd be stretching and really trying to be nonchalant about his actions, like he was there for some other reason and not so much for the females. And the females were tolerating it, and then there would be a little bit of aggressive behavior, some snarling and a bit of growling and that. But then reciprocating is the females would be super coy and inviting to the male as well. In other words, they were open to the fact that they've been left unguarded, and there's this new male who's now offering something, whether that is protection or size dominance, but they've now accepted him into the pride. And you can see this unit over here now. As soon as they're together, there's now this tactile communication. And as soon as lions start with tactile communication, the allo grooming, the allo rubbing, there's now a pride scent that starts getting transferred. So even if those southern males do come back down south, and if it's in a week or two's time and there's a bond that has been cemented, I think this nomadic male is now the southern pride male. So definitely a shift in power and potentially a shift in name as well. And what will happen relatively soon is, as this male now stamps his authority within the pride and ensures that he's here to stay, those females will come into estrus and hopefully he will mate. And well, 110 short days later, there should be some little pride lions running around. So as always, trying to predict nature and what nature is going to do is always risky business, because at the end of the day, these are wild animals and they're going to do what's best for them. We can only watch and observe and kind of predict a little bit. And I think although this is a very fluid and dynamic situation, I think that this male lion is here to stay now. If those southern males do come back, let's hope there's not a situation that he gets kicked out and ousted and becomes a nomadic male again. But I think at this stage, the fact that he is now in the pride with the females, and there's this sort of affectionate behavior starting and less aggression, and it's been for a duration now. It's not just a 20-minute sighting or interaction like we've had over the last few months. This looks like it's here to stay. And the fact that the females are on his side, it will be a combined pride effort that those southern lions coming back into their old territory will not be welcomed. This has been such a great story to watch developing over the last few years. And it does take time, especially when you're dealing with nature. We operate on their time, not on ours, not what we think should happen then and there. And we leave these guys to do what they do best. It's taken a whole bunch of time, and I suppose there will be a whole bunch of new and interesting facets to this story. And as it's going and as it's developing, we're definitely going to be here capturing it, and we hope that you join us and keep following us. Until then, stay safe.